Now, this year, Reconciliation Day comes on the heels of riots and looting that took place in July. Racial tensions exploded in parts of KwaZulu-Natal, leading to many deaths. This came shortly after the arrest of former President Jacob Zuma. There are now fears of continued violence after a court decision on Zuma's medical parole. Siphamandla Goge is following that story for us and is joining us this afternoon. Good afternoon and thank you very much for your time. What has come out of Reconciliation Day commemoration in KwaZulu-Natal? I understand Usengome this afternoon.
Indeed, Ngome is between Dandi and Ngutu. That's where the Blood River in Ngome took place many years ago, about 183 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, on the 16th of December, 1838. That's where that very strategic battle of Ngome took place. At the center of it, really, the gist of that was the issue of defending land from colonial invaders. You know, there was that war many years ago, and after that, many years which followed afterwards, there were many attempts to reconcile Amazulu and the four trekkers that were on their great trek trying to establish their Republic of Natalia here in northern parts of KwaZulu-Natal, when they were met with that resistance by Amabuto, who were led by King Dingane at the time. So for many years the day has been known as Dingane Day in KwaZulu-Natal, but after 1994, of course, it was converted into Reconciliation Day. Two major events happened on this day. It depends, you know, how and which part of history you decide to basically highlight. But two major events happened this day in terms of the struggle for liberation for Africans. It was that battle on the 16th of December 1838, and also the formation of Umkhonto weSizwe 60 years ago, another very important occurrence in the history of South Africa and the liberation struggle. So the battle was about land, really. So today it was a commemoration, but divisions are very clear and visible. You know, there are no doubts about that. I can tell you why I say that, because where we are at the moment is the Ngome Museum. Now, this museum belongs to Amazulu, if I can put it like that. It highlights and basically recounts that history of what happened during the Battle of Ngome, which became known as the Blood River. But on the other side, not so far from where we are at the moment, about meters really, there is another commemoration that is underway where white people are having their own commemoration. An interesting occurrence happened today. There is a bridge that links both museums, that is a Ngome Museum and the Fort Trekker Museum on the other side. So the other side, the gate there is locked. People who were on this side couldn't cross to the other side to go and commemorate, and those who are on the other side deliberately decided not to join this government-sponsored commemoration in KwaZulu-Natal. It was the official program addressed by the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, Sihle Zikalala, and he was very clear. He did concede that it seems as if tensions continue, race relations are at an all-time low, and that has been displayed by the fact that the white people are celebrating on their own, Amazulu and Africans are celebrating on their own. So there is no reconciliation, and the battle of Ngome was mainly about the land between Amazulu and the four trekkers at the time. So Sihle Zikalala saying more needs to be done to ensure that there is that reconciliation. If it doesn't happen, they will force it. As to how they plan to do that, because this has been happening for years now, where you will have parallel commemorations, and it's not been addressed, and it continues, highlighting that divisions are severe. The issue of reconciliation project has not really worked in this part of the world.
Yeah, and during this afternoon, Siphamandla, I'm going to be talking to several people, prominent South Africans, just to get their sense about what needs to be done for us to make sure that the project of reconciliation actually does bear fruit and is inclusive. Now, you've mentioned his name already, the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, Sihle Zikalala, in relation to reconciliation. But you did ask him as well about his views regarding the latest court judgment on former President Jacob Zuma's medical parole. What did he tell you?
Well, he says they support the former president, they support the Department of Correctional Services, as the department has decided to appeal the judgment. The former president and his legal team, they are also appealing. They've said they have given a notice of their intention to appeal. That Siphamandla Goge saying the ANC leadership in KwaZulu-Natal supports the former president. They will be engaging with the national leadership of the ANC in this regard. And on the matter of former President Jacob Zuma, they are concerned and worried about what might happen moving forward following the July unrest. But he says the province is on high alert, and this time around they do not want to be caught napping. Let's take a listen.
We note the judgment as it is. We believe that it is correct for Department of Correctional Services to appeal this judgment. And maybe the ANC should find also a way to engage on the matter and express itself, because at his age, former President Zuma, you will notice, is quite advanced in advanced ages, but also his health, it's known that it's not in a good health condition. Now, the judgment has serious potential of fueling the tensions that we've been trying to calm down. And that's why we will be engaging with the national leadership of the ANC on the matter.
Siphamandla Goge, of course, he is the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, ending that update, that report from Ngobe in northern part of KwaZulu-Natal by Siphamandla Goge. Thank you very much, Siphamandla. Now, Siphamandla, just before we listen to Siphamandla Goge talking about the Jacob Zuma medical parole court case, he mentioned that Mr. Zikalala was not pleased to notice that just not far away from a provincial government-sponsored Reconciliation Day commemoration, there was another one not far from there, which was mainly a whites-only commemoration of Reconciliation Day.